Okay. Hello to all my beautiful people. Front, center, back, everywhere. You guys are great. Happy you're all here. So, some of this is new, some of this is old. It's a little bit of both, and I hope you enjoy it. Pardon me, but could I ask about your scars? All of them. The lightning tattooed white ones streaming across your summer tan, horizontal sheets of rain. The pink ones you're still afraid to showcase, still too fresh to stake claim for. The J-shaped one on your elbow, like a fish hook that the ground kissed you with when you were 3. The hardness of life has always tried to catch up to you. What about the long, jagged one, stapled and stitched fingerprints from when you ran out of breath? The one you swore you'd never show. The one you've been saving pennies for in exchange for a cover-up. The one that you always said that you'd cover up, but don't. The one that you'd let the skin grow back around. The one that you fought with. The one that you've caressed in pain. The one that shaped your name in fear. The one that tells the story of why you're still here. Do you mind if I pull up a chair? If only for a moment. Slide back my own sleeves and see if our chapters cross paths, if I could help you and if you could help me. I know you haven't reached your ending. Let's see what tomorrow holds together. $4 tickets is what it costs to have your insides scrambled for fun. 4 tickets, please. Cigarette-stained grasp opened wide, receiving a lazy goatee smile. My budding maturity I quickly tucked behind my ear while I fastened my seatbelt, holding tight to my butterfly glee. It wasn't long before I would be flipping on my own ride for free. So we sit. Every one of us rusted into the buckets of our carnival rides, roller coasters, and crazy trains. There are no lines. There is no freedom. So we sit and forever whisper, 4 tickets, please. Sure. Your tape measure is a whip. To my waist you make me sip on water only. Food I skip to make you happy. Pains rip through my heart. I'll never slip into a small with these hips. Life falls, pounds strip as I starve for perfection. Just out of my grip.
Oh! Ow! Woo! Good.
To the drunk girl. Wobbling on her feet, can't hold herself up, but still keeps the beat of the music. To the drunk girl, pounding shot after shot, clinking drinks together, she's forgotten the thought of how many. To the drunk girl, making eyes at the boy, knowing he's wasted and she'll just be a toy for the night. To the drunk girl who never gets numb, there's no amount of alcohol to keep her safe from her reality. To the drunk girl I see sitting there, puking her life up while I hold her hair, I'm here. See, I've been that drunk girl more than a time or two, and how I've always wished for someone to see me too.
Woo! Woo! Repeat, call it, go in.
And speaking of repeat, this one I can't stop repeating, because I feel like there's always somebody here. It's always different. There's always somebody who needs to hear this poem, and I'll never stop.
Get it.
When I jot down my daily list titled Reasons Not to Kill Myself, no. Reasons why I'm thankful I'm still alive. The most important part of the entire exercise is simply this, number 1. Because if I can write down that number with subconscious expectation that a reason will follow, it's worth staying. I promise you, it's worth staying.
Go in, poet.
When I think of anniversary, I think of champagne toasts and velvet memories, freeze-dried flowers, laughter, so many candles, so many pictures, so much life. I also think of you today on this 1-year anniversary. I smooth the wrinkled ticket in my pocket and travel back into time, back to a crisp June farmer's market morning. Blueberry donuts and dahlias, hot pavement and maple syrupy smiles on everyone except me. Pain. Unexplained, even though I knew I could explain it, but I just didn't want to. I focused on the tomatoes. I focused on my grandmother's shopping. I focused on the breeze that bit into my skin and the sweatshirt my friend let me borrow. I focused on anything except my situation and the fact that I had already lost so much I couldn't bear to lose anything more. I drove home. Which is a false statement in and of itself, because a rundown, single-wide, in the middle of nowhere with insults as wallpaper and negative energy fueling the electric bill is not home. Living in fear of his truck in my driveway, his voice as it furrows into my ears, my skin, the lies, the deception, the abuse. Yes, the abuse. It is not home, but it is all I knew as my own, and it is all I had left. I was in survivor mode. I didn't know myself. I didn't know my life. I didn't know the face that stared back into the mirror with hollowed cheeks that were simply hungry for stability and love, and for someone to say, I see you, I'm here, I care. The 3-hour nap that should have lasted an entire day because of all the sleep that I missed because I was afraid. The blood, the blood, the blood. It was only a few drops, but the blood, the dread, my heart filling with lead and dropping to my toes, scraping every fiber of emotion to the floor with it. Everything was still autopilot. Everything was still a daze, a zone. All I felt was alone, and I prayed that I wasn't alone in this body, that the heartbeat that I carried still mimicked my own, and that I'd be able to bring forth my baby and come out okay. The drive. The long drive that wouldn't seem to shorten, even though I went 90 the whole way there. No, I don't want my mother. I just want to be okay. I just want this nightmare to capsize and for someone to shake me awake in bed and feel feet kick up into my ribcage and remind me of my purpose here. The nurses. Their doe-eyed, useless gaze of knowing that they could not help me. Taking my blood pressure doesn't help right now. A hospital gown doesn't help right now. A warm blanket doesn't help right now. Please, give me what I need to hear. Please, tell me everything's going to be okay. Please, tell me he's going to be okay. The squeaky wheel on the hospital bed. I swam down the hallway to the ultrasound. There was no hand to hold, to squeeze through the pain and through the unknown, and through the fear, and through the tears that began to fall when I saw what you had become. I had seen you just a few short weeks ago, and you were so strong. You were so alive and so full of promise, but as I gathered up the courage to look into the nurse's eyes, she finally gave me closure. It's just the wrong kind. I'm sorry. There's no heartbeat. Miscarriage. Spontaneous abortion. Failed pregnancy. I drowned in the hallway on the way back to my room. A part of me died with you there. The tears, the pain, my hand gripping my stomach in vain, knowing your tiny bulge was not going to grow anymore. I heard Mom crying. I gripped the sheets and ripped at my bracelet, and I just wanted to go home. I didn't know what home I meant anymore. I just wanted to be with you. I ran 8 miles the next day. I didn't know what else to do but move away as fast as I could from the tsunami of my crashing world. I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't deal with losing you. You were all I had left. You were what had kept me going for this long. Mosquito bites. Hopelessness. Worthlessness. Numb. I passed you the next day. I held you and cried. I couldn't recognize you, but I knew. The blood, the anger, the rush of failure and defeat, the pain, the labor. It was never supposed to be this way. You were never supposed to go this way. Heating pads, sleep, too much sleep. I saw newborns and cried. I saw diaper commercials and cried. I heard the word pregnancy and secretly wanted to die because I felt like a failure. The mystery of how to cope with missing someone that I had never met. How to grieve when I still couldn't understand what that you had left. Why you had left. I held dolls. I wrote. I bought flowers. But nothing helped. Nothing dulled the sting of losing something that I had never got to truly have. I named you, and it brought renewed grief, but peace. Noah. Noah James. Your name flooded the hole in my heart. How beautiful you were. How beautiful you are. How much I miss you and how much I wish I could be where you are. How much I don't understand why the Lord takes precious babies like you too soon, but know that your mama loves you endlessly. I might not know how to sometimes, but I'm learning. and he's giving me so much peace. Here we are, 1 year later, June 2nd, 2019. There is pain, but it's not the same. There is a pang of loss and a sting that penetrates but does not consume, because I know that you are held by the most perfect hands. You are in the presence of the mightiest King. You are free of any of the suffering here, and as your mom, I couldn't wish anything more for you than a life without knowing pain. I remind myself that today that you're not dead, you're just not here with me. I know that you're safe. I know that you're cherished and nurtured and loved beyond any of my ability. I know that I can look up any time at the stars in the night sky and remember that you're okay. I may not get to be your mother here on earth, but I will do my very best to wait. I'll wait for the day when I don't have to simply hold this title, but hold you in my arms. I have faith I'll see that day. I have peace and patience that it will come when the Lord is ready for me. But until then, you have given me a love that is beyond the depth of this world. You have given me a love so selfless, so pure, that it has changed me. You have changed me. I would never wish for any of this history to be erased. I trust that I am where I need to be in this moment. I trust that the Lord will use you through me. I trust that one day I may be able to carry a baby that is just as special as you are, and that the Lord will let them stay with me. But for now, I will wait. I'll take deep breaths, lace up my shoes, and hike 6 miles to remember you today. I'll hold your ultrasound picture in my hands and smile at the memory of your heartbeat. I'll use this space to grow in ways never possible before. I'll rest not in the hardest part, but in the sweetest place. Love, Mom. Last one, sorry. I moved back into my parents' house last June. It's been over 1 year of safety. Yet as I dug through my closet this morning for something to wear, I found an old sweater. I couldn't smell my old house until I got to work, and by then it was too late to change. Now, many of you will immediately scoff and say that I have way too many clothes for me to still have a sweater that I haven't washed or worn in over a year, and I would say you're right. But it's black. Long sleeve with lots of gold sparkles woven through its crocheted threading. Flexible, smooth, soft. I remember why I never donated it. It still fits, but it wears differently on my skin now. My ribs don't use the eye-catching fabric to highlight their existence. My collarbones say hello, but refrain from endless conversation. But the smell. I turn my head to my shoulder and sniff and remember the mango laundry detergent I used to douse into the washing machine. I thought I was pretty good at adulting when I bought fabric softener for the first time. I can smell my budding maturity, my married independence, my false sense of safety. I can still smell the fear. I can almost feel the hurried creases I made folding laundry on the floor. I used to hate that chore, but it became therapeutic. It was the only thing that I could make an effort to cleanse, and it would actually listen to me. I find myself looking for black or golden dog hairs. I find myself double-checking to see if it smells like him at all, and I find that it does not. I am not disappointed. This is a victory in of itself. I find myself anxious over the fact that eventually I will have found and washed all of the clothes that were in that house, and this smell, this memory, will be erased. For a moment, I don't know if I'm ready to let it go. It's like a tripwire flashback, one whiff of movement, and my past comes crashing like an explosion, good and bad. And I understand now that I can't separate the light from the dark, the clean from the dirty. I have to wash it all. I shake, but I stand, and I think I can donate more memories now. I think, oh dear, I really think I could wash a lot more from my mind than just this sweater. I think I'll buy new fabric softener. I think I'm ready to move on. Thank you.
Woo! Woo! Make some real noise for